If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
That's me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Inspired Choices show. I am your host, Christine McIver, and tonight I've got another show that is sure to challenge you, inspire you, and maybe make you go, I'd never thought of it like that. And that's what I love to do, is really have you look in at what you're doing and what actually could be creating even greater in your business for you, for your customers and clients, and for your life. Imagine that, creating your business for your life. So I am your host, Christine McIver. I am a business strategist and systems coach. I've been doing this for, I think I'm in my 14th year now, being in my own business. I'm a business owner and I do a lot of different things. And tonight we're going to be talking about, and it's really a question for you to ponder and consider, is are you a business owner or are you a coach? Are you a business owner or are you a writer? Are you a business owner or are you a social media influencer? Are you a business or? And that's the question that we're going to dive deeply into. Now, if you have any questions and you're joining us live, feel free to come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. And there you can ask your questions live. You can join us in the recording studio, or you can always email me if you're listening in the replay, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Business to me is meant to be pleasurable. And more and more and more, I see people struggling in business, questioning what they're doing in business, struggling to really create both in something to do that's enjoyable each day and to create an income that goes along with it. And that's what I love to do, is I love to show you the possibilities of what you can be doing that will maybe give you both. How wonderful would that be? Anybody? Anybody feel like that would be wonderful to have both? You can have both. You were designed to have both pleasure in your life and in anything that you are creating, whether you're creating a career or you're creating a business, whatever it is that you're doing, you're designed to have more and more pleasure and have so much fun doing everything that you're doing and have prosperity attached to all of it. So let's talk about tonight's show. So are you a business owner or are you a coach? When you introduce yourself, do you say, I'm a coach, or do you say, I'm a business owner? Have you ever even thought about that? I'm thinking back to my network days where you would be out physically networking, and when you would meet someone, right? What was coming out of your mouth when you're doing that? We're doing that online now, and you don't even tap into that. What is it that comes out of your mouth automatically? That's a very important thing to look at first and foremost. Are you really a coach or a creator or a facilitator? Are you actually in business or not? It's just so interesting how this show came to be, and I'll explain that in a little bit. And what if you've been choosing words to form the energy that does not match what you are desiring? Have you considered that? We all know the potency of words, and we all know, if you're listening to this show, you absolutely already have the awareness that your words create an impact. And this is where we're going to dive into tonight, is what impact is it actually creating? There are significant differences that most people actually ignore, and the distinctions can actually change so much for you and for your desires. And that's what I really want to get into. Oh, we have a comment in the chat room. I have never said that I was a business owner. Never occurred to me to say that. I love that. And I just love what this show is already starting to trigger with people, and have them lean into asking more and more. So what do you say, or what do people say when they meet you at networking? So do people say to you, what do you do? Or do people actually ask you who you are? There is a difference, right? Most people say, what do you do? What do you do for a living? All right. And most people are never asking, so tell me about you. Imagine the difference in that. Now, imagine you're the person asking, right? So if you were actually asking me, Christine, what do you do? I could give you a lot of funny answers. Well, I love to bake. I take care of my mom, and all the rest of it, right? So it's not really a clear question, but we all infer it means, what do you do for a living, right? That's the first thing. The other thing is, if you were to ask somebody, tell me about you, can you feel how that just opens things up for you to really learn about that person, connect with that person, and truly network with that person? So many of us are looking at this from the perspective of business, right? What do you do? What do you do? As if learning what that person does gives you a really clear picture of who they are, what their values are, what drives them, what brings them joy, what really brings them to that place where you're meeting, right? Asking somebody, what do you do, only gives you a very small finite image into that individual. So for instance, if there were 6 of us standing together and all 6 of us went for professional training and we became coaches, and that was one of the services that we provided, right? And we all said, what do you do? I'm a coach. 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 I'd be like, okay, this is ridiculous. This is boring. That's not telling me anything about anyone else. And it certainly isn't having me stand out and be the unique individual that I am. Correct? So we see all the time, all over the place right now, people saying, be you, be you, be you. And I agree with that. But when you are using a job title, it is not showing people who you are, right? This is so important. For the most important part about all of this is your mindset about you, right? And when you really begin to understand this, and I'm going to unpack this throughout tonight's show, but when you really begin to understand this, you step forward in a very different way in your business. When you're interacting with your business, when you're creating in your business, when you're looking at your goals and your targets and what you define as success, when you're reviewing what you've done in the last year, when you are doing all of the pieces that really create joy and pleasure in having a business and growing and expand a business, your mindset, my friends, is critical. It's absolutely critical, and it changes the entire experience you are going to have with your business. Now, who wouldn't like to have a more beautiful, joyful, robust experience with their business, right? I know I would. And I know that that's one of the things that drives me every day, is creating more fun and joy and expansion and creating. I've been doing that for the last couple of weeks. Actually, for the last, since December, I have been in a very deep creation space, and it's exciting. It's exciting and it's invigorating. And it gives me something even more to jump out of bed and be excited about what's going on and where I'm moving forward in my business. So if you are shifting your identity from a coach or whatever it is that you do provide as a service to a business owner, and you begin to open up the possibilities of your business, can you see that what you desire will have more space to show up? Can you recognize that? So here's what actually occurred. I'm going to tell you a little bit of story about my own journey. So I went to school, I went to college, and I got my certificate in human resources. I was a human resources professional here in Ontario, Canada. And I, climbed the corporate ladder. While I was doing that, I was getting my certificate, the highest degree you can get here in Ontario for human resources. I was on the board of human resources in our area. I became the president. I created some different programs that are still being used actually with the HR community. And I really dove deeply into my career and what it is that I did. And I became a professional in that area. And so when people would meet me and they would ask me, what do you do? I'm a human resources professional. I am a human resources professional. Sounded impressive, but today I can see how that was very narrow for me. That's not who I am. I am way more than what my career was. And this actually makes me kind of think about when people are using their titles and how much they are actually they put so much more energy into their career or their profession. They don't see themselves as a lot more than that one area of their life. That's just a side thought. But so I was in human resources, and this is no surprise or no mystery. This has been very well known, is I actually had a breakdown. And it was brutal. It was one of the lowest parts of my life. It was one of the most challenging parts of my life, learning how to come out of having really climbed that ladder and really gotten to that place of success, and where I can say I was the director of human resources for Ontario for this organization, and I was, I had the title, and I had the office, and I had I had all the bells and whistles that we dream about, many of us have dreamt about, in a profession. And when I had the breakdown, it was devastating for me at the time. And one of the gifts in that is it forced me to really look at what it is that was not working for me anymore. And because, if you do have a breakdown, there's something that is trying to pull you away from where you are at, because it's not working for your body, and it's certainly not working for your mental state as well. So it forced me to stop and sit still and ask some questions. And it had me ask some questions about the things that I loved to do, that I really, really enjoyed doing and wanted to continue to do. And so what I did was I looked at, the area where I love to inspire people, and I love to be their cheerleader, and I love to assist them to move forward with what really lights them up and gives them hope in their life. And so I looked at, well, where could I go at this point? And so I became a professionally trained coach, and I started to kind of focus in those areas. And one thing led to another, and I became more and more of a business coach. But along the way, what occurred to me is I actually had a reading from a colleague who said to me, and if you're one of these people that somebody says you can't do that or you're going to mess this up, and it actually triggers something in you to actually prove them wrong, this is what occurred for me. So this reading that this person did for me, they said, you're actually going to miss a lot of opportunities that come your way. And I was like, hell no, I'm not. I am not going to miss any opportunities. And so I actually made a commitment to myself in that hell no, that opportunities that came across my plate, I was going to ask more questions. Well, about 6 months after this, an opportunity came to me, and where someone said to me, have you ever thought about producing? Because I had my own show, my own radio show at the time, and podcast, and they asked me if I'd ever thought about producing. And immediately my mind that had it very clearly defined what I did, my mind went, "Ugh, that's not what we do. I'm a coach. I'm a professionally trained coach." Like, oh my gosh. And the doors were shutting. The doors were shutting on this opportunity. I was like, no, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't want to do that. What? And then all of a sudden, just about when the doors were shut, I said to myself, stop that. Stop, ask some more questions. And it was so close. I promise you, my friends, it was so, so close. And I began to ask more questions. Well, you know the rest of the story, because today I am a producer. That's one of the biggest arms of my business. I am the owner and the founder of Inspired Choices Network, and I get to invite people into becoming a global authority through having their own production, their radio, TV, and podcast. And I love what I do. I love what I do. But I'm telling you, I was so close to missing that window because of the definition that I was holding very strongly onto. So we're up for our first break, but don't go away. I've got a lot of more things that I want to share with you to really invite you into looking at what else is actually possible for you in how you actually identify, right? How do you identify? Do you identify as a coach, or do you identify as a business owner? You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver, on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be back right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Well, my friends, thank you so much for being here. Tonight, we have a great show that we've been talking about. Are you a business owner or are you a coach? So in our first segment, which I really encourage you to go back and listen to if you're just joining us, we talked about how you identify yourself in your job title, that it doesn't actually speak to who you are, and how important it is for you to understand what that can actually contribute or hold back what you receive. So many people that I speak to, many business owners that I speak to, they absolutely have a title that they call themselves. And at the same time, while they may be doing one or two services, they also have big dreams and big targets that they want to hit. But when I really dive down with them and I look at what it is that they're doing, what it is that they charge for their services, and the time that they want to be devoting to their business, comparing to what their targets are, they actually don't match. And in fact, it's oftentimes very difficult for them to be able to even imagine reaching those targets with the way that they have the strategy set up in their business. So it's very, very interesting to me when I started to look at this and started to look at, like, what is it about this that is really holding back what people can be receiving and having in their business. And so what I wanted to do was, I really wanted to invite people into looking more deeply at their definitions and, of course, their mindset. Now, I know everybody's talking about mindset, and I hope you're not overloaded by hearing about it, because this is a crucial part of what I'm talking about right now. So before we went to the break, I was talking about my own personal experience of this, and how when this opportunity of becoming a producer first came into me, is that I was really pushing back on it, because I had decided what my title was, and I had decided what it was that I did, and therefore how people were going to be perceiving me and what I was going to get paid for. So I had decided that I was a professionally trained coach. That's true. I was a professionally trained coach, and that was the service, one of the services that I provided. That is absolutely true. But when I was only identifying of that as that to myself, I was actually shutting out all sorts of opportunities. And most of us are doing this all the time, because here's what occurs, my friend. When you have a narrow definition of who you are, just like the horses, you have blinders on. They're actually called blinkers. You have blinkers on, and you miss the opportunities that could possibly work in your business, that would be a contribution to your business, that would actually expand the financial revenue that would come into your business, the new opportunities that would come with that one particular new way of adding to your business, and increased pleasure with your business. And when you're doing that, when you have those blinkers on, you are not going to be able to hit the bigger targets that are available to you. There is an unlimited amount of money in the world. I can go into that if you'd like, but just trust me, there is so much money in the world. I mean, all you have to do is hear about some of these mega billionaires, and you will know that there is an unlimited amount of money in the world, because these people just keep getting more and more and more. Well, my friends, the only difference between the people that have money and the people that desire to have more money than they already have is the way that they see things and they think about things. All right. So I want to give you some examples about this. When you position yourself for growth, when you position yourself for growth and you expand the definition of who you are and what it is that you provide, your growth opportunities are going to expand exponentially. Now, the definition and the way that you look at yourself and the way that you think about yourself starts to change so quickly when you are willing to open up to being a business owner. A business owner. Now, that doesn't mean that you go to an event and someone says, "What is it that you do, Christine?" And you say, "Well, I coach people," right? That could be what it is. And you might want to play with this and practice this in the mirror, which is really, really helpful to get you comfortable with it. But you might say, "Well, I'm in my own business, and some of the things that I do are," and then you can add from there, right? Because when people say, "Oh, that's very cool, so you do a number of different things," so now that conversation even starts to open up. Now, the very cool thing about connecting with more and more people is it's not just that person you're connecting with, but it's also the people that they know. So for instance, if I meet someone and someone says to me, "So Christine, what is it that you do?" Well, I'm in my own business. I am a business coach as well. I'm a producer. I produce broadcasting shows across the internet, both radio TV, and podcasts. And immediately people go, oh, really? Tell me more. They don't ask me about coaching. Interesting, right? They ask me more about something that they're not aware of, something that they don't have a great deal of knowledge. So if you have some very unique things in your business that you do, or that you would be fun to add to your business, you can start to share a number of the different things that you do, as opposed to one definition. Now, I can tell you there was a time, even as I was, probably in the last 5 years, the word coach became, very watered down. And I'm sure you'll agree that, every second person calls themselves a coach. And I do say a professionally trained coach if someone asks me about my coaching, because there are people that read a book and call themselves a coach. There are people that have had people come to them and they give lots of advice to, and then they suddenly say, well, I'm a coach. I coach people. No, you're actually not. But the industry is not regulated. So anybody and everybody can call themselves a coach. So I actually started to look at what type of coach I wanted to really put out there with my marketing and so on. And there was a number of different titles that I was using for a while, and I would see how that fit for where I was going. Now, what's important to understand is I want you to imagine when you were thinking about going into your own business, and you thought about what you would like to do, right? Just consider your first thoughts of what you were going to offer in your business. Now, if that was more than a year ago, I want you to now look at what you offer today. Look at what you offer today compared to the first time that you thought about going into your own business. Did you know you would be here, wherever here is, on day one? Did you know that this is what you would be offering? I'm going to probably guess that most of you are going to say, no, I didn't know I was going to do this. And the reason that I'm doing this now is because I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this, right? Things start to really unfold. And I want you to imagine, just like a lemonade stand, if anybody out there had a lemonade stand when they were first, as a young person, maybe that was one of your first entrepreneurial jobs, is you had a lemonade stand. Well, lemonade stands have even branched out to selling cookies, right? They've branched out to selling straws, or delivering to your door, whether it's your house or your car, right? And they can actually ask extra for that. So even lemonade stands have expanded their offerings, right? Are you willing to expand your offerings? Like, why not you? Why not you doing more and stop just doing lemonade? How fun would that be for you to offer more? And how fun would it be for you to actually be willing to receive new ideas that would be a complement to your business? Has that been something you've ever thought about doing? Have you ever thought about expanding your business to have new complements, new services? I know a lot of people in the coaching industry who take lots of new courses, and they begin to add some of these things to their business, right? Well, if you are someone who has taken additional trainings, and you're someone who has taken, you have additional services that you do, it may be time for you to change the definition of what you do from a very narrow one service to, well, I'm a business owner, and these are the services that I offer. Now, this may feel very uncomfortable to come out of your mouth initially. I understand that. That was absolutely, certainly something that was going on for me. And today, I am very confident that, number one, I do more than one service. And I also am extremely aware that as things change in the world, and we're going to talk more about that after the break, but as things change in the world, my ability to pivot, to change and evolve with what's going on in the world is going to have me be a more successful, longer person in business than other people out there who are only willing to stay in their lane. Don't stay in such a narrow lane, my friends. There's so many opportunities for you, but we got to start with where you define yourself. That is the absolute most important place, because you can stop you or you can grow you. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to receive more? If you're willing to receive more and your desires are higher than where you're receiving now, this is the place to first start digging in. So you are listening to Inspired Choices on the Inspired Choices Network. I am your host, Christine McIver. And when we get back, we're going to come deeper into this whole part about receiving and expanding the definition of who you are and what you do. Stay tuned, my friends. We'll be back right after this commercial break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Wow. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I really love creating these shows, and I certainly hope that they contribute to you. My hope is that I will be able to share what I have learned on my journey to make things much more pleasurable for you in your business and whatever it is that you desire to have and create. Before we get back into the show, I want to tell you a little bit about another thing that I do. And I kind of touched on it when we were opening, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about one of my areas that really lights me up. I actually help mission-driven entrepreneurs who are struggling to scale their revenue and get in front of their ideal audiences and get there on a global level. When they work with me, they discover how to quadruple their sales by dramatically growing their audiences, going from the best kept secret to the global authority without all the confusion and tech overwhelm. This is what we do here at Inspired Choices Network. And this is something that we love to do with all of our hosts, is actually bring them out onto the global stage. So if you're struggling with getting more exposure and you have a message that you're tired of being the best kept secret, reach out to me. We could have a global authority conversation, and we can talk about what it would take to bring you to be that global authority across platforms, the numbers that you could actually not even imagine. So you can email me, Christine@InspiredChoices.ca, and within days, you could become a global authority. That would be so fun. All right, my friends, let's get back to tonight's show. So tonight we are talking about really about the definition of who you are. So are you a business coach, or are you, a business owner, or are you a coach? And, you know, when we were talking earlier, I really want you to keep your mind especially when you're defining how you're going to be saying this to people, I want you to see how narrow it can be when you are talking about a service. So being a coach is actually, you're giving a service. You're not just a coach, right? Because, and I'll tell you how you know that, because you charge money for that service, right? So when you're charging money, you're in business, right? You're not working for somebody else. You might work for, the best coaching industry company in the world, and then you could call yourself a coach under their umbrella. But when it's your business, the service you provide is a coach, but you're charging money. So you also are someone who is in your own business. There's many other things that you're doing. You put on your marketing hat, you put on your accounting hat, you put on your sales hat, you put on your creator hat, maybe you put on your website developer hat, maybe you put on your writer hat. You're doing a lot more things in your business than just coaching, right? So you are not just a coach when you're in your own business. You are not just a healer for all my healer friends out there. You are a business owner who offers healing. Does that make sense? And when you see this, just imagine how many branches that can come off of you as a business owner. Imagine how many branches that can actually come off that. One of the things that I love to do is really challenge people to look at where they can grow. Do you ever challenge yourself when you're not growing? Do you ever challenge yourself to say, okay, what am I doing? And most of us will say, what am I doing wrong? We're looking for what's wrong. What if you're not doing anything, quote unquote, wrong? And what if you could look at it and say, okay, how can I expand? I want my finances to grow. I want my business to grow. Where can I grow? Where can I actually grow to work in concert with my business growing? Consider yourself someone who has multiple talents, and you do. And some of those you may not have learned yet. That's okay. When I first started in my own business, I didn't know how to be a producer. I learned how to be a producer. There's many, many skills that one person can learn to do and be very, very good at. What if you were willing to say that each and every day? How can I grow? And what could I offer in my business to assist my business to grow so I can receive more? You see, your business is an entity and it's here to work with you and for you. But you, my friend, you set the pace. So are you actually holding back your business by A, the definition, B, where you're willing to grow, and C, you're receiving? Most of us, if you are saying, I am a coach, and you're not saying I'm a business owner, and you're saying I am a coach, what you're also saying energetically is that's the only place I receive is with coaching someone. This is what I do, and that's where I receive. That's it. That's all. Well, if you are working your max amount of hours in whatever it is you do, whether you're coaching, you're healing, you're writing, you're doing something out there, whatever it is that you're doing, if you've reached the maximum amount of hours that you can actually produce, then you have reached the maximum amount of money that you can receive unless you're doing one of two things. You are either raising your prices significantly, or you're able to have two clients simultaneously. That is basically what you would have to do if you're not willing to look at other opportunities. Now, most people, when I say other opportunities, the first thing out of their mouths is, oh my God, I don't have any more time. I don't have any more time. I don't have any more time. Most people are trading time for money, right? And there's so many other opportunities. When I was first starting my own business, it was just me. It was me doing everything. What if you were willing? What if you were just willing to imagine having a team that took some of the hours of work off your plate? So for instance, think of it like this. This is a very, very easy one, but I have a cleaner. I have a cleaner that comes in every couple of weeks, and she spends about 4 hours cleaning my home. All right. I pay her money that contributes to her. And what I pay her is about 25% of what I can make each hour that she's here doing that work. So she is actually part of my team. She's part of my team. She may not feel like she works for my business, but she does. She's part of my team. Okay. What if you were then willing to look at that? Even maybe you have a gardener, or you were willing to look at other services that you pay for, and you see that these individuals are part of your team. Now imagine that you were willing to have someone do your bookkeeping, someone that you put everything in a box and you took it to them and you paid them to do the bookkeeping, to do the accounting, to get all of your taxes ready. And you actually paid them less money per hour than what you could make. You have just doubled your time. You have doubled your time because you can make more money per hour than if you were actually doing that job. You know, when we're not willing to expand the people that we have on our team, we actually narrow the possibility of the income that we can receive. Most business owners, if you actually sat down and you laid out all the tasks that you are doing every single day, and you allotted a time to it, and you allotted money to each of that, work out your per hour, right? And you were actually looked at the time and you broke it down. What percentage of tasks are you doing? And what percentage of actually earning income are you doing? Most people are shocked by how much time they are spending. And I sit down with business owners all the time and create a strategic plan. And they tell me how much they want to make. And I show them reasonably how much money they want to make, how they break it down over a per year. I break down how much time each of those tasks are and how much time they would need to devote to the actual service in order to make the income that they desire. But most of them are too engrossed in their tasks and not paying attention to their time and their money. Now, another really important area is to look at how you can offer. What additionally can I be offering that could be creating money? Have you ever considered creating evergreen products? Creating evergreen products are something that you can put out there and they can be for sale. You can put on automatic marketing that is actually inviting people to that. You can talk to your clients about that you have when you're connecting with them. And then you can be earning more income. That's just one way of where you can be earning additional income in order to grow your business. Now, you're no longer just a coach. You're a creator. Right? So right in that, when you create an evergreen product, you go from being a coach to being a creator. You're actually putting the creator hat on. Okay. Are you understanding now what I am talking about? How where you are looking, where you're defining yourself, right, is actually setting the pace for what you are doing in your business. Definitions actually narrow things. Definitions, like a coach, like a healer, like a writer, can really narrow opportunities. And from an energetic perspective, if you have a narrow definition in your mind energetically, that's what you're sending out to the universe. But if you're saying to the universe, I'm a business owner, hey business, what can we receive? And where can we grow? And you put that energy out to the universe, the opportunities will not only start to come your way, but you will have your eyes open to notice them. And you will have just upped your receiving. Upping your receiving, my friends, makes all the difference in the world. Are you actually willing to receive more this year, this month, than you've ever received before? Are you willing, without going into your mind on how you're going to do that or what it means or how much time or any of that, are you willing to allow the universe and the magical energies in the world to create and conspire in your favor? Imagine, just imagine. I just think this is so funny because just changing the definition of where you're coming from starts to open up and expand the possibilities so much. It's actually so exciting to me. Okay, we are up for our last break of the show, my friends. Please stick around. I've got so much more that I want to share, and I really want to challenge you because nothing would bring me more pleasure than to see you more joyful in hitting those desired levels in your life and in your business so that you can actually have more pleasure than you've ever had before. So stick around. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices show here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm so happy you're here tonight. And this is a show that I'm so thrilled that has come to me so that I could deliver it to you, because I never even thought about how much the definition of how we define ourselves narrows our receiving. Really, that's where it comes to. And it also narrows our pleasure. So if you are only doing one thing in your business, how can you possibly know what else you might be able to offer, or what else might be so much fun for you to add to your business? You know, I really want to talk about something you've probably heard a little bit about before, but you know the company Blockbuster. Blockbuster was a video rental company, and they really got shut down hard and fast when like Netflix came out and different online on-demand programming was out there. They shut down because they were unwilling to expand the definition of what they did. They totally were unwilling to do that. Now, if you look at a company like Coca-Cola, yes, sells Coke, but Coca-Cola also sells what else? They sell ginger ale, they sell root beer, they sell a lot of different lines of products. Now, I don't know the Coca-Cola business, but I would guess that they probably sell a lot more things under their umbrella that we don't even know about, right? But a company like Blockbuster, because they wanted to really have this deep definition of who they were, they couldn't expand. They couldn't actually see beyond because they felt like they were doing the right thing and making a lot of money. When you have a narrow definition of who you are and you don't see yourself as a business owner who has these services, also open to possibly new services, you can miss major changes in the market. Let's look at right now all of the companies that have been majorly shut down because of the pandemic. They honestly, now some people were amazing. They figured out how to shift and how to pivot and what they could do differently under the same guides as what they do. But if you are not willing to be open to new possibilities as the markets start to change and as how people show up differently, if you're not willing to do that, you are just going right by all these amazing missed opportunities. I want to invite you to challenge yourself, and I want to invite you to the possibility that as you see yourself as a business owner, I'm a business owner. I'm actually a business owner. Oh, glad you asked. I'm a business owner. Oh, really? What do you do in your business? Imagine yourself doing that. And imagine yourself saying to yourself, to your business, to the universe, I'm a business owner. I wonder what else would be fun to add to my business to support my business to grow. And so I can hit those desired targets that I've been talking about for a month or for years. You, my friend, have so many more capabilities and so many more prospects out there when you are willing to change your definitions and when you are willing to receive even greater. There are endless opportunities in the world, and it's not like you have to go start a new profession. That's not what I'm talking about at all. What I'm talking about is being willing to receive more possibilities to complement your business and your skill set. Okay? We are looking all the time at, what else should I be doing? What else should I be doing? Why don't we start looking at what other opportunities are available to me? Where else can I receive today that will have me have more pleasure in my business, more money in my bank account, so I have more time to have adventures in my life and with my family? It is a shift in your mindset, and it's also going to be a shift in your bank account and in your pleasure. I really want to invite you to lean into this and maybe go back and listen to this show again, because when you do, you are going to start catching yourself when you go to say, I'm a coach, I'm a this, I'm a that. No, that's a service. I'm a business owner. Hi, I'm Christine McIver. I'm a business owner. That, just saying it that way, opens up the door for someone to ask you more and more questions. Imagine this time next year when you've started right now saying, I'm a business owner and I'm willing to be open to new opportunities and new possibilities in my life, in my business, in my bank account. Imagine how different your world could be. The opportunities are there. The money is there. My friends, it's time. It's time for you to open up to receive the more possibilities. And when you stay in that narrow lane, you don't get to drive by all those amazing shops, i.e. possibilities. Let's open up your world. Let's open up your business so you can receive even more. I'd love to hear from you. Please send me an email, Christine at Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, or you can find me across any social media platforms. And remember, you can always make another choice.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.